Welcome back to the Ananya Child Development Center podcast. I'm Jules, and today we are continuing our exploration of practical strategies for supporting children with repetitive behaviors. Yuganti, I know we are both passionate about putting these ideas into action. There's so much to discuss.
Absolutely, Jewel. It's always exciting to delve deeper into these strategies and to think about how they can make a real difference in the lives of the children and families we work with. I find that observation is just the bedrock of everything. It is the foundation on which we build our understanding.
I agree. And it goes beyond simply noticing the behavior, right? In the previous podcast, Madhvi ma'am gave such detailed insights into advanced observation techniques. Yuganti, what are your thoughts on really honing in on those details? It is like solving a mystery.
You have to become a bit of a detective. Note the time of the day, the environment, who's around, what happened just before, what happened after. Track intensity on a scale of 1 to 5 and the duration. That's where the patterns start to emerge. You start to see the triggers and their consequences. What about you, Joel? Any specific aha moments from your observations?
Definitely. Remember Rohan? How he used to rock and hum every day after school. Tracking it carefully helped me realize it was his way of decompressing from the overstimulating environment. It wasn't just random behavior, it served a purpose. It was a way for him to regulate himself. This also showed us that this was a learned behavior.
Exactly. It's about understanding the why and then using that information to create a more supportive environment. Like using the visual schedules for transitions. That was a game changer, wasn't it? It helped him anticipate what was coming next.
Totally. Remember how anxious he used to get? Giving him those time warnings 5 more minutes, 2 more minutes, using a visual timer. It gave him that sense of predictability he craved. He felt more in control. What are your go-to strategies for creating predictability, Yuganti? I know you have had a lot of success with this.
Visual schedules are definitely high on my list, but also just establishing consistent routines. Predictable meal times, bedtime routines, even a consistent morning routine can make a huge difference. It helps them feel safe and secure. They know what to expect. How about you, Joel? Any specific routines you find particularly helpful or any specific visual supports?
I agree about routines. And for those kids who are sensory sensitive, creating a sensory friendly space is crucial. Remember Priya? She was so overwhelmed by noise. She would cover her ears and cry.
Oh yes, Priya. How is she doing with the noise cancellation headphones? I remember you suggested those to her parents.
Oh, they have been amazing for her. And having that quiet corner with soft lighting and a weighted blanket gives her a space to retreat to. It's her safe space. It's her sanctuary. She can regulate herself there. It is very important to offer different sensory activities for children.
Absolutely. And on the flip side, for those sensory seekers, providing appropriate outlets is key. Like including sensory play into their day. We need to give them what they crave, but in a constructive way.
Yes, Play-Doh, sensory bins with rice and beans, finger painting. It's not just fun, it's therapeutic. It channels their energy positively and it helps them develop fine motor skills as well. Yuganti, have you been using food chaining much in your practice? I know it can be challenging but also rewarding.
I have, with some success. It's such a gradual, gentle approach. I had a little one who only ate very bland foods. We started with plain mashed potatoes and slowly introduced sweet potato, then carrots, and then a mix of other vegetables. It takes patience, but it works. It is important to introduce foods that are similar in taste and texture.
It is so true. It is a great technique to use. And involving them in food prep, like Madhvi ma'am suggested, can make a big difference. Even if it's just washing vegetables, it gets them interested in food.
It empowers them, doesn't it? Gives them a sense of control over what they're eating. And creating a positive mealtime environment is so vital. No pressure, no force feeding. That just creates negative associations. What are your thoughts on using social stories, Jewel? I know you have had success with them. They are a wonderful tool for children with autism.
Oh, they are fantastic. They help children navigate social situations, understand expectations, and reduce anxiety. Remember the one we created for Rohan about going to the doctor? It made a huge difference in calming his fears. We broke it down into small, manageable steps. How about you? Any success stories with social stories?
Oh, definitely. I had a little girl who was terrified of starting school. We created a social story about what to expect, who her teacher would be, what she would do each day. It really helped ease her anxiety. She felt more prepared.
They are like a roadmap, guiding them through potentially stressful situations. And speaking of guidance, using play therapeutically is so powerful, isn't it? It is a way for us to enter their world.
Absolutely, is their natural language. If they're lining up cars, you join in, but then maybe introduce a new element, a ramp, a tunnel. You expand on their play, make it more complex. How do you use play to address specific challenges, Joel?
I often use it to work on transitions, like using toys to act out a doll going from the playground to the car, or a toy train going from one station to another. It makes it more concrete for them. It helps them understand the sequence of events.
That's brilliant. And sensory play, specifically, is just so crucial. Providing those varied textures, opportunities for movement, it can be incredibly regulating. I have found that many children find deep pressure very calming.
Oh, it really can. And incorporating music and art into their routines can be so beneficial as well, right? It is a way for them to express themselves.
Definitely, music can be calming or stimulating, depending on what they need. And art gives them a creative outlet for self expression. I love using those for children who are nonverbal. It gives them a voice.
So true. Hey, what are your thoughts on the extinction burst phenomenon? Have you encountered that much in your practice? It can be quite challenging.
Oh, absolutely. The extinction burst is when a behavior for a short time increases or intensifies before it starts decreasing. Like a child's tantrums getting worse for a few days when you stop giving in to them. It's so important to prepare parents for that temporary increase in behavior when you first start an intervention. It can be really tough, but it's actually a sign that things are working. The child is trying to figure out what is going on.
Exactly. It's like the behavior is saying, hey, this used to work. Why isn't it working now? We have to persevere through that phase. We have to be consistent and not give in.
And that's where documentation becomes so crucial. Tracking the behavior, the triggers, the successful strategies. It helps you see the progress, even if it's slow. And then it is important to involve the parents in this. They need to be a part of the solution.
Totally agreed. And it's vital for homeschool collaboration too. Sharing strategies, creating consistency across environments. It makes such a difference when everyone's on the same page. We need a united front. What are your thoughts on using differential reinforcement, Yuganti?
It's a powerful technique, but it requires careful timing and consistency. Reinforcing those desired behaviors immediately and not giving attention to the repetitive ones. What's your experience been like?
It definitely takes practice, but it can be so effective in shaping behavior, and it ties in with the whole idea of early intervention, capitalizing on that neuroplasticity window. We need to take advantage of the brain's ability to change and adapt.
Absolutely. The earlier we can provide support, the more profound the impact. It's all about shaping those developing brains, and I've been thinking more about interoception awareness lately. It is such an important concept.
Me too. It's such a fundamental skill for self-regulation, helping kids tune into their internal body signals like hunger, thirst, emotions. How are you helping your children and their parents develop that awareness? It is all about mind-body connection.
I've been using visuals like a body outline and having them point to where they feel different sensations and practicing mindfulness exercises like body scans. It helps them connect with their bodies. I also like to use a feelings thermometer to help them gauge the intensity of their emotions.
I have been using feelings thermometers and incorporating yoga into sessions. It's amazing to see them become more aware of their internal states. Yoga combines movement, breath, and mindfulness.
It's all interconnected, isn't it? The more we understand these connections, the better we can support these children. It is a holistic approach.
Absolutely. And it's so rewarding to see them progress, to see them thrive, to see them gain more control over their bodies and their behaviors.
It really is. And to empower parents with these strategies, to remind them they are not alone. The monthly neuro nurture sessions at Ananya, our parent support group meetings, where families share their experiences, challenges, and triumphs in raising their special needs children, are such a valuable resource. They create a true sense of community.
Totally agreed. It creates a sense of community and shared learning. Parents can learn from each other support each other.
Well, Jewel, it has been such an insightful conversation. It's always so helpful to share ideas and experiences. We can learn so much from each other.
I agree, Yuganti. We are constantly learning and growing as therapists, and it's so important to keep these conversations going. We need to keep up with the latest research and best practices.
Too many more aha moments and many more successes for the incredible children we work with, and to continued collaboration between us as professionals.
Cheers to that, Yuganti.